2023 has been a phenomenal time, especially for the RPG space. Surely, how can 2024 follow such a year? Well, we still have a number of games to look forward to, including some action RPGs, open world games, tactical and turn-based titles. In this list, we'll be looking at some of the most highly anticipated RPGs and why they've caught our attention. So without further ado, let's get into the top 10 RPGs of 2024. Honourable mention, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. The return of the wacky turn-based RPG Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth drops the Yakuza from the title and embraces its absolutely mad universe. In the sequel, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Ichiban Kisuga makes his return starting from the bottom, this time gaining a new region of Hawaii. Here he will pick himself up and start anew. While this entry continues to use turn-based RPG gameplay, there are some moments to take advantage of and just go ham on enemies. Recruit allies that take up job-based professions that include new ones such as Pyro Dancer, Samurai, Desperado, Geodancer, Action Star, and Housekeeper. Gameplay looks fun, silly, and just as outrageous, and even more so than the first. Is that a giant shark Ichiban is taking on? And are they riding dolphins? You can even take on a new mode called Dondoko Island full of minigames and island management. Kind of a game within a game. Here you can craft, design, and manage your own holiday destination for tourists. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth releases on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC on January 26, 2024. At number 10, Banishers Ghosts of New Eden. If you're familiar with Dotnod games, they are notorious for putting players into difficult situations where they must make decisions that affect gameplay. Banishers Ghosts of New Eden, the action RPG, will be no different, putting players into an interesting situation as a pair of ghost hunters who are then torn apart when one of them, Antea, becomes the very thing she's hunted. If that wasn't clear, she becomes a ghost and gets some supernatural powers. Red will do anything to bring back his love from the beyond. Originally they were sent to sort out some spectres that had been haunting a town, but things take a turn. Now they will need to decide whether to banish souls or let them ascend to serenity. There's also the factor that they will need to keep Antea sustained in her new ghostly prison, which will have some consequences of course. Combat is a mix of melee and supernatural powers. Antea, being a ghostly being from the beyond, is armed with more supernatural abilities, balancing Red's brawn. Through perception, her powers can help enhance navigating the land with a spectral leap to get to hard-to-reach areas. There's also burst damage, unleashing spectral energy. Banishers Ghosts of New Eden will be hunting down spirits on February 13, 2024 for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. At number 9, Rise of the Ronin. Team Ninja are at it again with another stunningly set action RPG, this time in the historical backdrop of 1863 Japan. Announced in 2022 at the PlayStation State of Play, a trailer was released showing a peek into the trial and tribulations of Western influence during the tense times of the Civil War. Set during the Edo period, known as Bakumatsu, the struggles during this time are not only from oppressive leaders, but deadly diseases. The previous footage shown was a bird soaring through a city, finally sighting a lone Ronin upon a hilltop. It then shows ships from the west and troubles plaguing the people being ruled by the Tokugawa. The game is set to be an immersive experience with combat-focused action following the life of a Ronin. While Ninja in the past has had many historical-based games, Ronin will be combining the experience over the years and setting up the next major step for the studio. No doubt the developers' experience working on Nioh 2 will help in making their action combat title fluid in sword fighting while opening up the game with the use of gliding to explore. Rise of the Ronin will rise up in 2024 for PlayStation 5. At number 8, Granblue Fantasy Relink. A spin-off of the main series, Granblue Fantasy Relink is an action RPG which allows players to control a group of characters as they adventure through the Sky Realm. Taking the lead is the character the Captain, who will command his team as they face off against primal beasts. These are monstrosities created by the Astrals years ago. It isn't going to be easy to eliminate them, but there is a rich cast of characters whom players can rely on. Expect plenty of party banter in true JRPG style. Instead of opting for an open world environment, Cygames has chosen large open areas, allowing you to prepare for potential battles long before stepping into the next one. This means players won't feel overwhelmed when it comes to exploration. Combat consists of flashy combat moves that can be linked up with full party attacks. Skybound arts deal massive aftershock damage while chaining moves with other allies, inflicting a chain burst. Boasting over 100 quests, there's plenty to do from defeating bosses to taking part in raids. This means you can solo or join a party with up to 4 players in online co-op. If you'd rather enjoy the game's story and content, there's even a full assist mode where actions can be performed automatically. Granblue Fantasy Relink will be coming to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 and PC on February 1st, 2024. At number 7, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. This one is a little difficult to talk about as it's had quite a bumpy development history, now under a new studio though, the Chinese Room. Hopefully this means we'll be seeing it in fall of 2024. This action RPG is based on the tabletop game, and as a sequel, it sets to focus on storytelling described as dark and visceral game. As the title follows a group of vampires, the studio aims to depict the complicated lives of beings who can live forever. In case you missed it, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is set in the city of Seattle years after the events of the first title. Set in the World of Darkness universe, it follows an elder vampire known as Fire reawakening in a modern world after hundreds of years of slumbering. The world has changed since they were last awake. Various vampire clans are met with political factions, all fighting for control of the city. Previously, the gameplay took on stealth and first-person combat, which includes some supernatural vampire powers. However, recent interviews describe combat as stalking prey and being able to commit to actions without fear. Translating a tabletop RPG into a video game is no easy task, but we do know that the developer hopes to convey a good balance between adventure and role-playing, as well as giving players plenty of agency while playing. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 will be coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series and PC in fall of 2024. At number 6, Avowed. Set in the same universe as the Pillars of Eternity, the action RPG Avowed was first showcased in 2020, which showed first-person, magic wielding in one hand and using a weapon in another. A fresh look at gameplay this year showed quite a variety of enemies, from giant bears to glowing red-eyed skeletons. Also, watch out for those sentient mushrooms. Players can use AoE-styled abilities that look to provide more strategies to fight off deadly foes. There's a mix of elemental magic, including freezing foes in place or throwing fireballs. You can even dual-wield pistols, so there seems to be quite a variety of combat choices. Setting out to Adir, players are sent to a distant land to check out rumours of an impending plague, discovering a unique connection with the land itself and unearthing ancient secrets that could end up destroying everything. Just like other Pillars titles, you will not be exploring alone, but be accompanied by companions to join you on your adventure, such as Kai, a coastal Almoa, who finds your powers just a bit scary. Avowed will be released in 2024, coming to Xbox Series, PC and Xbox Game Pass on day one. At number 5, Black Myth Wukong. Black Myth Wukong you might be following since our gameplay impression video back in 2021. The title has been a while in the making, but looks to be aiming for a summer 2024 release window. In case you missed it, it follows the mischievous Monkey King, who will be battling many villains in the game inspired by Journeys to the West. Sun Wukong will use the 5 elements and his transformations in combat. In the novel, he has 72 different transformations, but it's yet to be seen whether all of them will make it into the game. The gameplay style is fast-paced with a rich Eastern fantasy world to explore. Its action combat will really shine, especially with the different staff moves that Wukong can adopt. The visuals are jaw-dropping, with plenty of larger-than-life bosses to really test your mettle. Its solid setting with a refreshed format could really make the game stand out. Black Myth Wukong has yet to have an exact release date, but is expected to launch in summer of 2024 for PC, Xbox Series and PlayStation 5. At number 4, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Being the sequel of the highly anticipated Final Fantasy VII game, Rebirth is a no-brainer for our list. Fans are eagerly awaiting the next part of the saga, and what's been shown so far looks pretty good. Final Fantasy games are usually chock full of story, memorable characters, and some mini-games. Being a remake, the title will keep things fresh with reworked systems and beautifully updated characters. Cloud makes his return, with the rest of the crew in Rebirth continuing exactly where they left off. We already know that the game is going to be a big one, with details that will arrive on 2 discs this time around. It's also part of a trilogy, so part 2 won't be the end of the saga. Previous footage shown gives a peek into what's in store for Cloud, as well as returning characters such as Red 13, Aerith, Barrett, Sephiroth, and some new characters that come into play. It also gave a quick glimpse at some major action, boss fights, and dance numbers that surely will leave a lasting impression. On the lighter side, there are also mini-games such as Chocobo Racing, which didn't make it into the first, and the Gold Saucer, which includes a robot beat-em-up. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will be leaping into the new year on February 29th, 2024 for PlayStation 5. At number 3, Dragon Age Dreadwolf. This title has had a bit of a rocky development time, but we're hopeful Dragon Age Dreadwolf will come out next year. Developer BioWare has shared that it's keeping BioWare RPG at its core, letting players be the ones to make the decisions when it comes to in-game choices, although there won't necessarily be a right or wrong choice. Your favourite or maybe not so favourite antagonist Solus is back. Known as the Dreadwolf, you'll either love him, hate him, or maybe a bit of both. The possible elven god has somewhat questionable ways to carry out his motives. Something tells us he's going to make it an even more tumultuous experience in the upcoming entry. Set in the vibrant world of Thedas, full of wild and twisting labyrinths as well as impressive cities, this age, however, is full of warring nations, combat and elusive magics. Things are about to get interesting as they come to a head. Players will be able to forge friendships, experience the drama and romance in bringing together a group of adventurers. Previously, the developer has teased the Antivan Crows, the Great Wardens, and even a magic archer. So far it's mostly been teasers, concept art, and some behind the scenes. Hopefully we'll see some more of this one soon. Dragon Age Dreadwolf is expected to come to platforms PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC. No official release date, but it could be a 2024 release. At number 2, Dragon's Dogma 2. I know we haven't been given an exact release date for Dragon's Dogma 2, but hear me out, it could happen in 2024. Capcom celebrated the action RPG's 10th birthday this year. They've already started releasing some gameplay. We even got our own hands-on experience back in September. Fans have been waiting a long time for the sequel. The game's open world is expected to be 4 times bigger than the first game. So far, it's looking pretty solid. As you'd expect, the pawn system returns in the sequel with 3 AI characters to run amok with you. The combat is fast-paced with plenty of close combat and ranged magical attacks. Players will have 4 starting vocations or classes to choose from, which are Fighter, Archer, Mage and Thief. Of course, you can later use advanced classes, such as the new Mystic Spearhand. You can also change up your class as you wish by stopping by one of the guilds. AI has gotten an upgrade since the first game, being far more reactive to player combat. The world seems much more alive in Dragon's Dogma 2. You can even hitch a ride on an ox cart. If you're tired of walking, simply close your weary eyes to fast travel to the next destination. Just remember that the world of Dragon's Dogma is a dangerous one, as you could be attacked by many monsters on your travels. I once heard a wise pawn say that wolves hunt in packs. Dragon's Dogma 2 will be coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series and PC. At number 1, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. This highly anticipated expansion cannot come soon enough. While there's no exact release date yet, it could make an appearance in 2024. Elden Ring The Shadow of the Erdtree was originally unveiled with little fanfare, but that doesn't mean it wasn't met with great enthusiasm from fans and of course, plenty of speculation with the image teased back in February this year. It's not an awful lot to go on, but looking at past DLCs or expansions from Software games, we could be gaining new weapons, new areas, dungeons, armor, spells, bosses, and much more. The developer is meticulous when it comes to the quality of their games, but since we haven't heard too much as a peep since the initial announcement, they could be working on something big. Elden Ring has been very well received by fans, passing the 20 million units sold mark just in a year after its launch. Of course, we are eager for more, and hopefully this means more of the Erdtree in 2024. In the meantime, we have a whole video going over what and when we can expect the DLC to drop, so go check out that video if you want to know more. Of course, we'll be adding to the wiki with all the details released, so hop on torrent and make your way over there. Well, there we have it, our top 10 anticipated RPGs for 2024. Do you agree with our list? Which of these games are you most excited for 2024? Let us know in the comments below.